Okay, guys, welcome to the Chosen One podcast show. If you landed on this podcast episode, you are probably a manifesting generator and a female entrepreneur, coach, or expert. So, welcome, take a cup of tea, and binge listen to all the amazing episodes I have set up for you. Episodes to help you create the right energy and mindset to create the manifesting generator business and life of your dreams. Here we go. Okay, loves, I have a little child here asking for ice cream. She keeps saying ice cream, ice cream, ice cream. No more ice cream. Anyways, I wanted to record a podcast episode in the hope that I can inspire other MGs and to also help you understand on a deeper level why my business grows as fast and easily as it does. And actually, the number one reason why it does is because I really, really follow my own path. And I will explain this a little bit more in depth, okay? I can give you a ton of examples from the beginning of my career when I was getting really big here in the Netherlands. But I'll give you some recent examples, okay? Because in 2022, I started rebuilding my business to an international business. I do not speak perfectly English, and I definitely do not write English without any grammar mistakes. So today I got a message from a beautiful soul sister who really wanted to help me, and she said, like, I want to help you because you have so many mistakes, like grammar mistakes in your emails. And people might think you are not the real Sophie when you make so much error mistakes or grammar mistakes, because a lot of scammers use those mistakes as well. I absolutely appreciate the fact that somebody cares enough about me to send that to me. But I will explain to you why I do not respectfully, by the way, listen to those kind of messages. A couple of weeks ago, I got another message from an MG sister, and she was like, oh my God, Sophie, I loved your energy, but why the heck are you emailing so often? I am now feeling forced to unsubscribe from your email list because you email so much. Okay, again, the reason why I am recording this episode is because I want you to know that when you become a public person, people will think stuff about the things you do, and they will send out emails to let you know their opinion. And in my case, I feel like a lot of the people that email me is from a good intention. But even though it is from a good intention, I still decide not to listen to it. And I tell you why. If I start listening to these types of messages, I will totally lose myself, okay? The reason why my business goes so fast is because I have a certain amount of fuck it mentality. I totally understand that in the eyes of some people, it does not look professional if you make a lot of grammar mistakes, especially when you make mistakes that actually, like, I use the word like self-paced, and I wrote it in a way that it's like paste, like the glue, right? So it literally means something else. I trust that the women that are on my frequency will understand what I mean, and that they'll look at it and think it's either cute or like, yeah, maybe a little bit adorable, but either way, they won't mind my grammar mistakes, okay? So the reason why I try, like, I have to say this has been a practice, right? To not care about these things, because of course a part of me always feels like, oh my God, maybe it is unprofessional. Oh my God, maybe I should fix this. But I know if I start caring about these things, I won't be able to continue at the pace that I'm currently going at. I have tried it in the past, for example, right? To have, like, even in Dutch, I made a lot of grammar mistakes. It's like maybe I'm dyslexic or something, I don't know, but this is not something that only happens to me when I since I have an English or an international business. This happened to me when I had a Dutch business as well, because I made a lot of grammar mistakes in Dutch. The thing is actually that when I write an email and I reread it, I literally do not see the mistakes. It isn't when I see it like days later and I'm in a different vibe, I sometimes notice it. But this has been a problem. It's not really a problem, but you get what I mean. A problem for me always. In my Dutch business, in my international business. So when I had a Dutch business, I had a moment that I was like, maybe I should have some of my team members check my emails so that there are no grammar mistakes in there when I sent them out. I stopped doing that very quickly because, first of all, for who am I doing that? I'm doing that for people who are probably not my ideal client anyways. Second of all, it's stopping me from my flow, because when I'm in the flow, when I'm in the vibe, I'm just like I get these inspired action emails coming through. I write them down, I send them out, and that is what keeps my energy going. That's what keeps my business going. This is how I make my money and serve my clients at a very high level and a high pace, okay? So I think the number one reason why a lot of entrepreneurs that are actually struggling is because they are stuck in perfectionism, okay? And I know a lot of my fellow entrepreneurs who are an entrepreneur success story. They are just like me. Like, I have a couple of clients who like literally make so much money and serve so much clients from such a soul-aligned, like soul-led place. And if you look at their emails, it's like, oh my God, these mistakes are horrible. I see them from them, right? I don't see them from myself, but I see them from them as well. And I actually like it. I think it makes them sort of like human. And yeah, I think it's, like I said, I think it's a little adorable. But the main reason why I'm recording this episode and I'm sharing this is because I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs are scared. Are scared to grow bigger because they fear getting critique from other people. So my first message is like, let them, right? Let other people critique them. Everybody has their right on their opinion. It's up to you to choose what you do with it. So that's my first advice. Second advice is you can't avoid that, okay? The bigger you get, the more of those emails you will get, okay? People loving you, people hating you, and everything in between. I try not to identify with any of them. I don't identify with the lovers, I don't identify with the haters, and I don't identify with the people giving me very well-meant, beautiful advice, okay? I choose to stay in my own lane and trust my own frequency, okay? So this is very interesting what is happening, because my daughter is making a lot of background noise. I have had so many times in my career that people have sent me emails like, Sophie, I love what you're doing, but oh my God, the background noises in your podcast episode, I can't stand it. And my response to them is, in my head, I don't literally respond because I choose not to focus my energy there. My response literally is, then don't listen to it. Like, I'm not forcing anybody to listen to it, right? Okay. So that being said, I do feel sort of like I need to say that I appreciate the fact that people care enough about me to share this with me. So this is not an attack on people giving their well-meant advice to me, because I know it comes from a beautiful place, but I want to explain why I choose not to react on it and why I choose not to identify with it. Because if you get, like, this is now like 2 examples of emails, but imagine you get 15, 20, 30 emails like that, and you start listening to that and you start caring about it, then where the heck are you at the end of those 30 emails, right? You completely lose yourself. And as a manifesting generator, it is so important that you trust your own intuition, that you do what lights you up. I know that so many of you are maybe not from the States, or like a country where they speak English as a native language, and that has been like for a very long time, it has been my block to go international, right? Imagine if I would have cared about my emails, about my grammar mistakes, about my mixed up words in my podcast episode. Imagine if I had done that. Then I would not have inspired so many women the last couple of years. I wouldn't have made such an immense impact on the women who are currently following me from all over the world. So if you are a manifesting generator and you want to go international, but you are scared of going like international using the English language, not speaking it perfectly, making grammar mistakes, I feel like on writing it feels worse than when you talk like with grammar errors. I feel like I absolutely agree that on paper it looks worse. It looks less professional, but still, right? Imagine if I would have cared. Where would I have been? And just as I say this, a heron flies over us, and the heron is such a beautiful sign of mine. So it's such a confirmation, like, yes, tell these women to not care about those things. Your voice needs to be heard, okay? So if you have been contemplating about going international and you're scared about your language, please do not care, because there are women out there literally all over the world who are waiting for your message. I have people from Mexico. I have people from the States. I have people from Australia. I have people from Finland, France, UK, Spain. Imagine all of those women would have not been impacted by my message, which is not even my message, it's actually the message of my spirit working through me. Like, I have to put aside my ego. I just have to be the conduit for like the universe, for God, for my spirits to work through me. And what people will think of me on a 3D level, like, that's my path to let go of that. And that is the path that comes with being a front runner, a light worker, an energy. Like, for us, the calling is bigger, right? We are not in the business of building a perfect business. We are in the business of impacting people's lives. And impacting people's life, that's what you do with your energy, and not with writing perfectly English or like speaking perfect English. I mean, if you feel super insecure about it, you can hire a tutor, but I have never done that because it doesn't suit my path as a manifesting generator. As a manifesting generator, we move fast. I don't have time for all that. I just trust that my language becomes better as I go. And it's so much better than a couple of years ago, because a couple of years ago, I think it was in 2020 or 19, I wanted to go international as well. And I was actually in a coaching portal with Jim Fortune. And I was like, okay, guys, I'm going to do this. And I was in in their Facebook group. And I was super scared to talk English. I was so afraid to even come in the coaching call and speak English. That's how insecure I was about my English. And that was actually prevented me at that time to start doing it. Then I went to an Abraham Hicks workshop here in the Netherlands in May, a couple of years ago. And I ran into somebody. And she was like, oh my God, are you Sophie? I'm like, yes. She's like, oh my God, I've been following you for such a long time. but all your podcasts are in Dutch and I'm English, so I wish you would have a podcast in English. So it's actually back then that I was like, okay, fuck it, Sophie, people want this. Start recording in English. So I actually started an English podcast show back then, which was called Sophie Goes USA. It's still, you can still find it. And but I was way more uncomfortable talking English back then. It was like not as easy as it is for me right now. It's way more easy now for me to record something in English than it is in Dutch. But back then that was the other way around. So I don't know. It's just an encouragement episode this to not care too much about, well, don't care at all what other people think. Decide for yourself what are your own rules and just stick to that. And if you feel a calling to go international, by all means, just do. Okay? Your tribe will find you. My tribe finds me. They love me for who I am, with and without my grammar mistakes. And yeah, I think I've said enough about it. Main messages. Like if you start adjusting, I think this is the final thing I want to say about that. I think I still feel like I have to defend myself a little bit, but literally, if I would like, oh my God, I already told you guys, like if I would like have my emails grammar checked, I will lose my vibe, and energy is all that matters. So always choose energy above perfectionism. I think that's my message. Okay. Love you guys, and we'll talk soon on the next episode.